at Two Kingdoms Farm where we milk the cow. This is Mixie over here to my left. She's a Holstein, which means that she's fat and sassy. We usually milk in the evenings. She has a calf on her as well during the nighttime. So after we milk, we let the calf come in until the morning. She's been separated all day, so hopefully she has about 12 hours worth of milk in her. The first things we do when we start milk is we get all our buckets ready. These were all cleaned back at the house, so that, you know, just in case one gets dirty, we have an extra just in case. We have some water over here with just a bit of soap in it and a rag to clean off the udder, because they lay around in the mud and, you know, they splash things up on their udders. So we make sure that's all clean. That's the first thing I'm going to do right now. So we got the cow in place, and hopefully she'll let me clean her udder. So you want to just gently massage the teats. I usually just go after each one, get it wet, let the dirt kind of soak in the water so that it's easy to wipe off. And then once I do that, I'll get it really wet, and I'll clean the entire udder, not just the teats, because the dirt that's in there, up in between here in the fur, it can fall down into the bucket while you're milking because your arm hits it or your hand or something. So we actually want to clean the entire udder, which I like to imagine that the cow enjoys. Dry off the udder, get it prepped. The next thing I want to do is put on some coconut oil. Now this does a couple of things. The first thing it does is that it keeps the teats nice and moist. If you don't use any product, they have udder creams and specialty products too, but we find that coconut oil works just fine. The udders will actually crack, especially when there's a calf nursing on them. The teeth will dig in when they're nursing and create little incisions, because the calves are, you know, 6 to 8 months old and they do have teeth. So what I do is take a little coconut oil, and it's cold in here, so I have to just kind of massage it into my hand until it melts. And then I'll just, you know, this is my little painter's pastel, and I'll put it on each one. The other thing it does is that it makes it easier to milk the teat, actually. It's kind of like a lubricant. I'll show you in a minute, but for these back ones you actually use a stripping process, and it keeps the keeps your hands from having to work too hard. So I have all this extra. I like to just massage the whole udder, get it all nice and moist, and it keeps it healthy. Helps the lesions from whatever, you know, the cow laying in the sticks or from the calf biting it, helps those to heal up more quickly. So now she's ready for the first part of milking, where we'll actually shoot the first few squirts out, because this part of the udder, the teat, is at a different core temperature than the rest. This milk is preserved really well. It doesn't develop much bacteria, but the milk that sits in here all day is actually at a cooler temperature that breeds bacteria a lot more aggressively. So these first few squirts, if you squirt those out, it greatly reduces the total amount of bacteria in the milk, which keeps your milk lasting much longer. It keeps the sour flavor from developing. So we like to, basically, a few squirts will get all the milk that was in that teat out. It may seem like a waste, but in the long run, you're saving all your milk if none of it's going sour. Now, my brother and I have been milking this cow for, what, 4 months? Something like that. And at first, we couldn't even make it through the whole cow by ourselves. It's really straining on your forearms, and especially the little muscles in your fingers where you're having to squeeze like this. It's difficult. It's not something you do in everyday life. After a while, that builds up, but there are still a lot of different techniques you can do just to try to save your own energy. Let's see, she moved quite a bit. the first one is you want to close off the top of the teat so that when you squeeze, milk doesn't go back up into the udder, because that can be painful for the cow, and it can create problems with the flow of milk. So you're going to kind of squeeze down like this. That's what we like to do for these bigger front teeth. It's definitely the most efficient way. And you can just start off getting a real good rhythm. I found that it takes about 150 to 200 squirts from each teat. You get really bored sitting here every day for 45 minutes. So here we are back in the kitchen, and we're going to filter our milk out to make sure it is nice and clean and that we get it into the fridge as quickly as possible. So we have this filter system right here. We have a filter and then this metal thing that holds it in place. So this will go in here just like this, holds that filter. And these will run you $50 for the filter holder, and maybe $20 for a box of filters, or $10. So I'm going to put this on our gallon jar, straight into it. You can see about how much milk we got here. This, I'm going to guess it's maybe 1.5 gallons. Not much more than that though. Wasn't a lot today. I think she's not used to her new field yet, so just start pouring, and the milk can't get by the filter without going through it, and you just put it in there and let it do its thing. No, we didn't grow up on raw milk, but since we've been doing this, I mean, aside from the taste, raw milk is really good for you.
Oh yeah, there's so many health benefits. I mean, all the enzymes you get that aren't included in pasteurized or homogenized milk, the cream, the fat. I mean, if you read any of Weston A. Price's research that he did with all these different tribes from around the world in ancient histories, you can see that a lot of ancient cultures had these kind of foods that had heavy fats, heavy omega-3s. Fatty acids, those kind of things that are really good for your immune system. They prevent cancer. Like Kevin was saying earlier, they're good for your teeth. They just are, overall, it's kind of a health food, and we've turned it into this kind of nasty pasteurized thing that is dried first, and then they add it back with certain milk fats later, so you get the whole milk, 2%, skim milk that we have today. This is the real stuff. This is what the milk farmers, the dairy farmers, they drink raw milk.
Definitely. Yeah, they don't drink the stuff they produce.
No, definitely not.
So, this is what we like to end the day doing, celebrating with a nice cool glass of milk.
Salud.
Cheers! Thanks for watching our video, and this is Nolan and Kevin signing out from Two Kingdoms Farms.
In the morning I'm milking cows. Jebediah feeds the chickens and Jacob plows.
We just had a great
I've been
ending.
milking and plowing so long that even Ezekiel thinks that my mind is gone. I'm a man of the land, I'm into discipline. Got a Bible in my hand.